Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. I'm happy it's been a late that I couldn't continue the polity series, but I'm back with the same content as well. So in today's video, we're going to understand the union and its territory, which is itself an important topic when understanding the law or the Indian constitution. Today we'll be covering the chapter that is titled as the union and its territory. So it is the exact text from the book. So if you have the text beside you, you can open it so you can read it directly from there. Again, you can also point out the important topics. So let's start with Article 1 to 4 under Part 1 of the Constitution deals with the Union and its territory. So basically, the topic Union and its territory it falls under from Article 1 to Article 4 under Part 1 of Indian Constitution. It says Union of States. That means all the states will be in a uniformity, all will be in a collective position. That is the definition or very meaning of Union of States. Article 1 describes India, that is Bharat, as a union of states rather than a federation of states. So it says India, that is a Bharat, because we used to call India as Bharat, but when the Britishers came, they start calling it in India. So both Bharat and India has been inserted in the Article 1 and it says Bharat, which is also known as India, as a union of states rather than federation of states. It says union, it believes in the uniformity rather than the federation. Again, it says this provision deals with two things. One, name of the country, it is India or Bharat. It basically seems like one is the proper name, another one is nickname, and two type of polity. What kind of polity the Indian government have? That two question has been answered in Article 1 itself. Then we have there was no unanimity in the Constituent Assembly with regard to the name of the country. The name has been already decided what it would be. Some says India, some says Bharat. So they both included both the words, both the name into that Article 1. Some members suggested the traditional name Bharat, while others advocated the modern name India. So some suggested that we should root it with our own individuality, that is Bharat. Bharat is the one that we started seeing ourselves. Then the Britishers came, they gave us the another name India. And hence the Constituent Assembly had to adopt a mix of both India, that is Bharat. So there were 50-50% of people who were supported that the name should be India and others said it should be Bharat. The others say that we should be rooted with our the very base of our name of the country that we were associated with. Rather said that now that Britishers have developed up, we should go with the modern name. So that's why with uh, the decision of both of the majority, both of the title has been inserted into Article 1 of the Indian Constitution. Then we have, secondly, the country is described as union, although its constitution is federal in structure. So there is a important question comes in that the constitution of India, whether it's federal in nature or it is unitary in nature. This is a very important question and I want you to answer that by your own. And if there's any difficulties occurred, I'll be there to help. But try to write it down how India is also known as unitary as well as federal in nature. Then we have, according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the phase union of states has been preferred to federation of states for two reasons. So B.R. Ambedkar has said that federation of states should be there, and for that he has two particular reasons. One, the Indian Federation is not the result of an agreement among the states like the American Federation. So our federation is not like the American Federation. We have some differences in it. Then the second status or second reason is the states have no right to secede from the federation. Just like the American Constitution, our states are not that much powerful to decide by their own that we are no longer want to stay with the unity of the country. We want a separate domain. That power has not been given to the states of our country. The federation is an union because it is indestructible. So it cannot be destroyed. So that is the reason. The country is an integral whole and divided into different states only for the convenience of administration. That is the reason why it is known as Union of States and not Federation of States, because our states are not that powerful to declare anything of their own. And second, the state cannot decide by their own that we want a separate domain because it's a union of whole. That's why this is known as Union of States. Then we have, according to Article 1, the territory of India can be classified into three categories. That is, territories of the state, union territories, territories that may be acquired by the government of India at any time. So these are the 3 points that Article 1 has dealt with. Then we have the names of states and union territories and their territorial extent are mentioned in the first schedule of the Constitution. So in the first schedule itself, you will get all the name of the states and what are the union territories. In the first schedule itself, you will get a clear view of how many states we have, how many union territories we have. At present, there are 28 states and 9 union territories. That is for you to decide whether the number here is till now same or it has been changed. So go Google it, search it wherever you can and come up with the right answer. And then we have the provisions of the Constitution pertaining to the states are applicable to all states in the same manner. However, the special provision under Part 21 applicable to the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Nagaland, Assam, Manipur, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Sikkim, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, Goa, and Karnataka over the general provisions relating to the states as a class. So, whereas all the states have been treated with the same manner, there are some kind of states because of their sensitivity, they have been given a special status and they have been given getting a some kind of uh, another treatment and which is covered under Part 20 of Indian Constitution. Further, the fifth and sixth schedule contain separate provision with respect to the administration of scheduled areas and tribal areas within the state. So if you have the barracks, that is Constitution of India, you can see there are some parts which has separate provisions for the tribal areas, scheduled areas and some of the states. So let's move into the next page. Notably, the territory of India is a wider expression than the Union of India because the latter includes only states, while the former includes not only the state but also union territories and territories that may be acquired by the government of India at a future time. So this said why the territory of India is wider in relating to Union of India. That question has been answered here in this full line. The states are the members of the federal system and share a distribution of power with the center. The states share a distribution power with the center. The Union territories and the acquired territories, on the other hand, are directly administered by the central government. But the union territories that we have, they are directly administered by the union or the central government, where the states have some power to rule their state as per their convenience. Being a sovereign state, India can acquire foreign territories according to the modes recognized by international law. For example, cession. It is following treaty, possess, give, lease, or plebiscite. Occupation, hitherto unoccupied by recognized ruler, conquest, or subjugation. So, it has been mentioned that, for example, this is our India. These are some land in the foreign country. So, we have this provision that we can also adopt this particular land to our country. And what would be the mode for them? So, the mode said it can be through a treaty, it can be purchase, give, lease, or plebiscite. So these are the mode by using what the government can adopt or take the land from the foreign country. Then we have, for example, India acquired several foreign territories such as Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Goa, Daman and Diu, Pondicherry, and Sikkim since the commencements of the constitution. So these are some of the examples that India has taken them under their own after the formation of the constitution. The acquisition of these territories are discussed later in the chapter. So these have been discussed in a broader sense in later pages. So this is all about Article 1 that we have covered. Now let's come to Article 2. Article 2 empowers the Parliament to admit into the Union of India or establish new states on such terms and conditions as it thinks fit. So here Article 2 gives specific powers to the parliament. Or what are the powers? The powers you can write in uh, separate form. For example, write Article 2 and write these three are the power of parliament that is given by the Indian Constitution by Article 2. It says admit into the Union of India or establish a new states on such terms and conditions as it thinks fit. Again, this is our India. So the government or the parliament has the power to admit new states or a formation of new state. That is the power that has been given to them. Next we have, does Article 2 grants powers two powers to the parliament. So these are specifically two powers that have been given to parliament. The power to admit into the Union of India new states, they can introduce new states, and the power to establish new states. The first refers to the admission of states which are already in existence. For example, Assam is a state. So, Parliament or the government has the power to add some other areas into the premises of Assam. So, that is the admission of some state which is already in existence. Now, the second scenario talks about uh, for example, this is a certain place from Bhutan, which is a foreign country. So the government has also the power to, you know, enter into a new state into our India. So they can also add this as a new state of our own because this existed, but not in our domain. This is considered as something which is foreign. Now that we have inherited them, we have taken them into our consideration, the government can make this a new state. So these 2 points has stated this particular thing. Now let's come to notably Article 2 relates to the admission of establishment of new states that are not part of Union of India. As I said, they were not a part of India, but they were existed in a different domain. So the government has the power to add them into our domain. Then we have Article 3. So this is all about Article 1 and Article 2. Let's come to Article 3. Article 3 on the other hand relates to the formation of or changes in the existing states of the Union of India. In other words, Article 3 deals with the internal readjustment inter se of the territories of the constituent states of the Union of India. So let's understand this in the simple manner possible. So Article 3 talks about readjustment. For example, this is our India. Okay, so let's take it is a house. So these are some of the states or some of the rules. So by Article 3, it states that you can do readjustment. For example, it can merge these two rooms together. It can make the drawing room into a kitchen. It can also add new colors to the room. So these are the readjustment which can be done by the uh, Article 3 using Article 3. So in today's video, we have learned Article 1, 2 and 3. So if I start taking the whole chapter in a one class only, it will take a long time. So the other parts I'll be covering into my next video. So if you have watched it till now, thank you for watching. I'll be coming back with part 2 where I'll be discussing the other parts of the union and territories. What are the background back then? What are the princess state? How come we have no more states, union territories? How they have governed under the central government by the state legislature. So that's all for today. Soon we'll be meeting sweet at another video. Thank you for watching the video.